ConnectForth, the radio forum for students. ConnectForth News and Sport.
Hello, this is Shannon Morell.
And I'm Liam Witt.
And this is your news for the week.
ConnectForth News and Sport.
Sarah Evans, aged 29, put her newly acquired first aid skills to the test after saving her own 7-year-old son's life. She used techniques she had learned only an hour before on a free British Heart Foundation course at Forth Valley College. The single mum of 3 explained she was tidying up in the kitchen when her son Matthew entered the room after eating chocolate.
She recalls that he appeared to be gagging and was holding his throat. She told us, "I instantly recognised that he was choking. I couldn't get my fingers in to clear the blockage, so I had to use another technique." Sarah, who is currently undertaking an Access to Degree Humanities course at Forth Valley College Falkirk campus, had just finished the popular 2-hour course, which teaches basic emergency life support before putting her skills into action.
This ordeal emphasises the importance of such courses running every year, and Sarah encourages all students to take part.
ConnectForth News and Sport.
Das Sterling presents a brand new and exclusive event. Play
Every Thursday, from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. Music from 2 talented local DJs, Liam Andrews and Robbie Tolson, with a mixture of
house, bass, garage, hip hop,
and more. £1 drinks all night, with £2 entry with a flyer or £3 entry on the guest list. For more information about being on the guest list, add Nicole Tanner on Facebook. For more information about the event, visit Play's Facebook page by searching Play in the search bar. See you there!
Please remember to always drink responsibly.
ConnectForth feature.
I am Ronnie McAllister, and this is a documentary for ConnectForth on mature college and university students, focusing on their experiences and expectations. I try to find out if it's worth giving up your time and possibly full-time employment to pursue a degree. What are the motivations, and are there good employment prospects at the end? Do they find a good balance between home and college life, many with children of all ages, with the time and energy that this entails? These are some of the questions that this programme will explore.
ConnectForth.
Learning is a lifelong process. Leaving school at 18 with your hires, spend 3 to 4 years at university and enter the job market with a degree appears a conventional narrative which society expects. However, the current employment landscape of continuous retraining requirements and lack of permanent work has led to a change in thinking. According to the Higher Education Statistics Agency, the number of students in 2012 over the age of 28 in the UK varied from 60% at Birkbeck College to a mere 4% at Loughborough University. That is an average of around 20%. A statistic that really surprised me.
The radio forum for students.
I began by asking Annie McCall, a lecturer at Forth Valley College, what motivated you to return to education?
Basically I got to a point where I couldn't stand my job anymore. I was working in retail. I worked in retail for maybe 12, 13 years, something like that. And I'd actually gone on to further education before that. I'd got a place in the academy, the Royal Scottish Academy, and I'd flunked out of that after about 6 months. So I always had this kind of hankering to go back. But working in retail initially is usually a good thing, but then it becomes tiresome really, really quick. And I'd moved from retail and music, which is my passion. It's like something that I've always been really interested in, to retail and computer games. And I went down to the careers office and they said, well, they've got an open day for Falkirk College, you might want to go down and have a look. So I went down and had a look. Of course, I bit his hand off. I was delighted to take a place on it. And I was lucky enough to get in. There was 14 of us in the first intake. So there was only 14 in the class, which was quite nice. I'm quite a big reader anyway, and I always was, even when I wasn't studying. And I found that a lot of the stuff was quite familiar to me, so I knew some of the concepts and I'd read some of the texts already. And I just absolutely loved it. It just totally turned me around.
Yvonne McGregor is currently studying Media and Communication at Forth Valley College. She has previously been a mature student and has returned to education after a gap of 14 years.
I'm 37 now and studying for a BA in Communication and Media at Forth Valley College. I returned to education after a break of 14 years because it had always been an ambition of mine to achieve a degree, but also to broaden and refresh my skills, which I believe or hope will open up new opportunities in the job market. I've already been a mature student when I studied for a journalism HND, also at Forth Valley College, when I was 23. So I sort of knew what to expect.
Jenny McCracken is a lecturer at Stirling University. After a number of years working in advertising, she returned to education at the age of 38. Here she tells us her story.
Stirling at that time were doing something called an access course, which allowed prospective students, to do a year and do 5 subjects, almost like hires, but they weren't exams particularly. And if you passed your access course, you were granted access. If you passed your access course, you were then permitted to go on to any university in Scotland. Stirling would have been my first choice anyway, because it was quite close to where I lived, and it did a film and media degree, which is what I really quite fancied doing. So I did the access course and absolutely loved it.
I also talked to Kerr McCreath of Student Services.
When I was a mature student, I wasn't married at the time, and I didn't have any kids or anything like that, but I did have to make a decision about leaving a job that I didn't like doing to a career that I maybe thought I'd enjoy. Therefore I made the decision to leave a job, quite a well paid job, and sell my car and all that type of stuff, and being a mature student at Edinburgh for 2 years in order to get qualified to pursue a career in student support in that kind of area.
ConnectForth.
A common theme appears to be dissatisfaction with work and an ambition to better themselves. There was no regrets in the decisions, and there was an eagerness to try new skills. However, leaving a job with loss of income and the task of returning to education can be potentially a daunting task. Andy McCall, a media lecturer at Forth Valley, explains the support the college can give. But first, Kerr McCreath of Student Services talks about financial support at college.
The decisions I had to make were finance decisions, and that's what all mature students have to do. They've got to make that decision. They're reaching a crossroads, they have to make that decision. And because of that, I had to rejig all my finance and my money and made sure I could afford to become a full-time student. However, that helped me later on in life, and I was giving advice to folk, to mature students who are wanting to start that particular commitment. And you actually empathise with them. I can empathise with them, because finance is the first thing, and if they're married by a family, that's other considerations as well. So I'm more kind of in tune with mature students, I would say, because I went through that particular process. And equally I find mature students, because of what their kind of outlook in life and the finance thing, make sure that they're getting all the help that they can get.
The radio forum for students.
The lecturers do it any time. You could get, you would get your lecturer in. Same here, yes, to this day it still happens. If you need 15-20 minutes, if you're struggling with something, the lecturer can usually find a bit of time to sit down with you and just sort of pull you out of a hole. And I found that really, I didn't have to use that often, but it was nice to know it was there, if you know what I mean. It was quite a nice thing to have.
So for those who went through further education as mature students, the experience was very positive. I asked them to pass on their experience and knowledge and what advice you would give to both potential and existing mature students. I'm back to Jenny McCracken.
One of the things in terms of advice that I would give is sit down and think really carefully about what courses you want to do and how you're going to make it all work. So financially, yes, your fees are paid, but you still need to go and buy books, or you need to get them from the library, or you can buy them second hand. You still need to get yourself to university, and you still need to be able to afford to park there if you've travelled a long distance. So sit down with a sheet of paper, dull as it may sound, and actually plan how it is you're going to make this work. And it's almost like make it your job to get your degree. So really, work hard, but actually think about it. How am I going to manage? How am I going to juggle this? I'm not going to be able to work full-time, but I might be able to hold down a part-time job. How's that going to intrude? Bottlenecks that might happen in terms of assessments and work want me to go in and do an extra shift. Actually plan it out. Really think very, very carefully about making sure that it works, because you don't want to be halfway down and you struggle and you have to bail out, because that feeling of defeat and not having achieved sticks with you a long time. So just make sure that it's actually going to work.
I also talked to Kerr McCreath of Student Services.
It was really a case of treating it as a job at 95, so that you were working and treating it like a job, because you had that work ethic in you already through your work. And as I say, I was away working for 8 years, and then I come back, but my day you get loads of money, you get a mature student's allowance, and you didn't have to pay it back.
ConnectForth, the radio forum for students.
I've not found the course too difficult so far, but the volume of work you're expected to complete in your own time can be problematic. When you take into account I, like many other mature students, have a home to run, a family to care for and a full-time job, it is a constant juggling act. Time management, organisation and motivation are key, plus you need to be able to de-stress yourself when you're worried about exams, all that kind of thing. I do enjoy it though, and hopefully when I graduate in 18 months' time, all the hard work and juggling all my commitments will have been worth it.
The Radio Forum for Students.
To go in and be aware that, you know, your own life experience, although you might not realise it, does stand you in good stead for studying. The fact that you've held down a job, that you've been organised enough to do that you have had to get up in the mornings and go out and organise yourself, that feeds into it. You also have more existing knowledge than you realise, I think, through, I mean, obviously if you're signing up for a media course, you have this existing interest in the media. You will have watched television programmes, watched films, had opinions on these things that will stand you in good stead. So it's about confidence in the existing knowledge that you have. On a more practical level, the advice I would say is get some colour-coded folders. The one thing that I found, and maybe it's only my experience, when I was at school I didn't have to study that much. I don't want to blow on from it, but I read quite a lot. I didn't have to study that much, so I was able to sort of coast through the exams. And in the first year of the degree I thought, yeah, I'll probably be able to do that here as well. And I made it by the skin of my teeth at the end of the first year. So by the second year I had all these colour-coded folders, Gantt charts, you know, timings for assessments and stuff like that. It helps you immeasurably in terms of building your confidence, because you know you're not hitting deadlines too late, you know that you're completing work on time and all of that. Each piece of work that you complete builds on that confidence and makes it easier for you. So yeah, have confidence and get a good filing system. That's the two pieces of advice I would give.
It's clear that there are great opportunities to pursue in education, particularly in Scotland with free tuition, although it does depend on people's external circumstances, of course. I hope this programme has given an insight into mature students' experience and expectations. Even for younger students, the opportunities are there, no matter what age you are. So make that leap. Thank you for listening.
ConnectForth feature.
FVC, the place to relax and enjoy contemporary cuisine. The Gallery is Forth Valley College's premier restaurant, situated on our Stirling campus with a stunning view of one of Scotland's most famous landmarks, the Wallace Monument. Join us for breakfast on weekdays from 10 to 11:15, or enjoy lunch in the afternoon from 12 till 2. And between 5 and 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you are invited to savour a premium dinner perfected by our team of professional chefs. For reservations, call us at 01786 406 027 or send an email to gallery@forthvalley.ac.uk. FVC, the place to be.
ConnectForth News and Sport.
On May the 20th, from 12 noon until 2 p.m, all Forth Valley College campuses will be linked by participating in a challenge walk for charity, which has been organised by Student Services. The aim of the challenge is not only to raise awareness of food donations and cash for the 3 main food banks in the Forth Valley area, including Falkirk, Alloa and Stirling, but also to highlight a good cause. The event will tie in with the college's health and wellbeing campaign, as students and staff members who register will be expected to complete a fitness programme at one of the college's 3 gyms. Free gym memberships worth £30 are up for grabs for the first 30 students who register, as well as an enhanced certificate for all class reps who volunteer to help out. Routes will go from Alloa to Stirling, and then to Falkirk and the new Helix Park Kelpies. The longest route will be at least 10 miles. That's ConnectForth News.
Keeping you connected.
ConnectForth News and Sport.
FVC, the place to relax and enjoy contemporary cuisine. The Bistro is Forth Valley College's own cutting-edge dining experience, located on the Raploch campus. Open every weekday from 9 till 4. Come sit down with us and enjoy a hot cup of coffee with a selection of delicious pastries and confectionery delights. If you're feeling peckish, join us for breakfast in the morning or a delicious lunch in the afternoon. The Bistro is also open till 6 on Wednesdays, where we host a carve raid from free, featuring a variety of premium meats. For reservations, please call 01786 272 318 or email us at bistro@forthvalley.ac.uk. FVC, the place to be.
ConnectForth Special.
With the upcoming DVD release of The Hobbit Part 2, The Desolation of Smaug on the 7th of April, I, Brian McCaffrey, will take a look at Peter Jackson's latest film adaptation of literacy genius J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit on behalf of ConnectForth Radio's specialist programming.
The Lord of Silver Fountains. The King of Carven Stone. The King beneath the mountain shall come into his own.
The Desolation of Smaug is the fifth film released by Peter Jackson in the Middle-earth franchise. It follows on from last year's blockbuster, The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, and sees Hobbit Bilbo Baggins and the company of 13 dwarfs continue their epic quest towards the Lonely Mountain. The film sees the company encounter many new friends and foes that come in all shapes and sizes. The main additions to the cast for The Desolation of Smaug are the return of Orlando Bloom in the role of Legolas, and the addition of Lost Evangeline Lilly as Tauriel. Unlike the Lord of the Rings series, we see Legolas in a darker role, where he is suspicious of all things, especially the dwarfs.
Do not think I won't kill you, dwarf. It would be my pleasure.
No matter what you make of The Desolation of Smaug, one thing it is not is boring. Unlike Part 1, there are many high-paced action sequences from the very start. Martin Freeman reprises his role as Hobbit Bilbo Baggins and is brilliant from start to finish. The development of his character from when they started is nothing short of incredible. Long gone are the days of the dowly-loving Hobbit. What we have now is a courageous and loyal stalwart who has the might to face up to a fire-breathing dragon called Smaug.
I found something in the Goblin tunnels.
What did you find?
My courage.
Good. You'll need it.
Visually, the film is stunning. From the great forest of Mirkwood to the incredible dragon Smaug, it really is breathtaking. The use of CGI has been vastly improved also, most notably on Azog the Defiler, who, in an unexpected journey, looked plastic at times. As mentioned, there are many memorable action scenes, but my favourite has to be the barrels out of Bond. It is filled with ridiculously over-the-top moments, notably when a beast dwarf, Bomber, ends up bouncing his way down the river, flattening orcs by the dozen before ending up spinning his way through a group of orcs inside a barrel. Like in Lord of the Rings, Orlando Bloom's Legolas has his fair share of over-the-top kills and moments. But if you watch it with an open mind, they do work. In a fantasy world filled with orcs and goblins, why can't an elf jump from barrel to barrel, down a fast-flowing river balancing on only the dwarfs' foreheads? Due to Peter Jackson's decision to break The Hobbit down into a trilogy, what we end up with is the main narrative from the book, but also some side stories that have been introduced from the appendices of The Lord of the Rings. For the Tolkien purist, this may cause some issues, but personally I feel it explains the story a lot better. The decision to include Legolas and Tauriel benefits the story, as it allows us to see the woodland realm of Mirkwood in greater detail, but it also shows the tension between the elves and dwarfs beginning to ease and heal. Tauriel's interactions with Keely the dwarf show that the hatred between the two factions is easing, and vitally so, as we will see in the third instalment.
What is this place?
The Desolation of Smaug.
The last hour of the film passes like the speed of light. Despite the action that is going on, the major part of the story is Thorin's descent into madness. Richard Armitage plays the role very well, and he becomes a character we love to hate. The way the film abruptly ends may not satisfy everyone's needs and desires, but in the context of the story it really sets up the third instalment nicely. There and Back Again is scheduled for release on the 17th of December 2014, and one thing is for certain, it will be a joy to be part of.
ConnectForth Special.
FVC, the place to be for hair and beauty. We welcome you to try our new springtime offers located throughout our 3 salons in Alloa, Raploch and Falkirk. You are invited to experience our new mother and daughter package for Mother's Day, including a facial and a full body massage for only £15 each. Also, throughout March and April, there's 20% off all colour treatments. To get more information, find the contact numbers throughout the college on leaflets and also on our Facebook page and college website. FVC, the place to be for hair and beauty.
ConnectForth News and Sport.
Forth Valley College will be running 2 new degree courses, BSc Applied Computing and BA Digital Media. The courses have been devised to encourage women to join the ICT sector. Forth Valley College Principal Dr Ken Thompson said, "Our Science and Computing and Creative Industries Department have once again shown their innovation in keeping ahead of the latest thinking and creating courses which reflect what industry and new students require. The courses will be jointly run with the University of Stirling, continuing the partnership with the 2 campuses, with the goal of guiding young people towards digital technologies as a career path."
ConnectForth News and Sport.
You've been listening to ConnectForth, the radio forum for students. This podcast was produced by second year BA Media and Communication students. Thanks for listening. Keep on tuning in.
ConnectForth, the radio forum for students.